Welcome back to another installment of From the Fans, my favorite part of the show. Why, you ask? Because it's educational. I'm joined by Professor Norris, who almost certainly has his tenure by now, and all the way from Lake Erie, Mr. Billy O'Riordan. Sophie Nielsen Coling is out there taking in some sun and getting our first question. Sophie?
Hey guys, I'm Sophie Nielsen Colding with this week's From the Fans, where we ask you what you want to know. I'm here with Guy Altabello. Guy, what's your question?
Which Packers defenseman is better, Charles Woodson or Clay Matthews?
Thanks. Guys, what do you think?
Okay, so who you got? You got Clay Matthews or Charles Woodson?
It's Clay Matthews' turn. Charles Woodson had a great year last year, but we're not going to see another year like that out of Charles Woodson. His best years are behind him.
Okay.
It's Clay Matthews' turn. His time now. Packers defense belongs to him.
I completely agree. Charles Woodson is on his downturn, and Clay Matthews, he has the most sacks when combining sacks from last season of any player in the league. And he's leading the NFL right now with 8.5 sacks.
And he's got great flowing locks. You got to give him credit for that blonde hair. You got to.
And it's not just the pass rush. He's very good at holding the edge and forcing the runners up inside so Nick Barnett, well, not Nick Barnett anymore, but so the linebackers in the middle can take down the running
Well,
back.
Josh, you said earlier, Clay Matthews, some of his performance might have added to Charles Woodson's performance last year.
I really agree because, you know, pass rushers do a lot better job for the defensive backs, and defensive backs help the pass rushers.
I don't know if I want to take that much away from that season Charles Woodson had last year. That was a prolific season for a guy who's done it great for a long time, but unfortunately, it's been a long time. So
I think
it's over now.
But we agree that Matthews is the better player, but they're
That's
both
right.
still great players.
Sure.
All right, well, let's get the next question from Sophie.
This is NFL fan Caitlin Wood. Caitlin, what do you want to ask the guys?
Are the Ravens going to beat the Patriots?
Well, guys, what do you say?
All right, guys, Ravens, Patriots. Who you got? Josh, you go first.
You got to go with the Ravens. I actually think they're the best team in the NFL right now.
Ooh,
this
big
defense is back. They've got the great pass rush off the edge, and the only thing you have to worry about are the tight ends and Wes Welker now. There's no deep threat to stretch out the safeties.
You know what? Here's the thing that you're not taking into account, Josh. You gave Bill Belichick a full week to prepare for this game. Look what he did just with an extra day to Miami last week. You know the last time the Patriots lost after a bye week? 2002, almost a decade ago. You got to go with the Patriots. The sun's going to be out. Deion Branch is back. I'm taking the underdog. Let's go with the Patriots.
But Branch is no Moss because Branch can't stretch the field to get Wes Welker and Aaron Hernandez the ball underneath the linebackers. They're just going to key in Aaron Hernandez and Wes Welker. I think the Ravens actually win by more than 10 points.
Are the Patriots missing Moss at all?
You know what? I don't think so. I think they're kind of glad he's gone. I mean, after all that drama the last game, we saw what happened at halftime with the offensive coordinator yelling at him. They're going to be glad to have him behind him. They're going to have a great game plan. They're going to come out strong.
All right, well, Sophie, let's get the next one.
One and only Win Stuff host. Jay, what do you want to ask the experts?
Well, I'm a Cowboys fan, and they're off to a shaky start this season. So I'm wondering what the experts think about how their hopes to host the Super Bowl and play in it are going to pan out.
Josh and Billy, what do you think?
All right, so Cowboys home game in February. What chances do you give it?
You know what? I say they're just about non-existent to host the Super Bowl and play in it.
Wow, counting them out.
I think
4
they're
games
exactly where they belong after Week 5, the lowest in the NFC East. The only game they've won is against Houston, who's more of an enigma than they are. They've lost all their close games. Why would you trust them in the playoffs?
You know, it's not likely, but there is some potential there. They've got some great talent, and we've seen it in the past couple of years. Tennessee Titans won 7 games in a row last season. Anyone can go on a winning streak, a hot streak. And the talent they have, they've got Minnesota, then they have the Giants, and then they have Jacksonville. Those are some winnable games. So if they get back to 4-3 or 3-3, they can actually do
They actually
pretty well.
got 2 games against Philly in December, so I think that could end up deciding the division. But when it comes to playoff time, this is one of the least clutch teams with this much talent I've seen in a while. When they can win a close one, maybe I'll give them a chance.
But unless they're back in the Super Bowl, Wade Phillips is gone.
That's right. Completely agree.
All right, well, we got one more from Sophie. Sophie, go ahead.
And now I'm here with the Elon Phoenix. Phoenix, what do you want to know? All right, guys, who would you rather have supporting your team? Cheerleaders or a mascot?
All right, guys, be careful with this one. We saw who was asking that question. Cheerleaders or mascots? Josh, I'll let you.
Well, if it was college, I'd go with mascots. But since it's the NFL, it's got to be cheerleaders, except if I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, because they have male cheerleaders with the Ravens. So just for my man card not to get taken away, I'm going to go with the cheerleaders.
You got to go with the cheerleaders. And you know what? It doesn't just have to be the manly answer, although we all know the NFL markets toward men. But how about this? It's a tough economic time right now, right? Who do you want to hire? One guy in a suit or a dozen cheerleaders? I'm going with the cheerleaders for the American workforce, and because, let's face it, who do you want getting your team pumped for the game? Sir Purr of the Carolina Panthers. Or do you want some cheerleaders? You're going with the cheerleaders.
I do like the blow-up mascots, though. Those always add a little bit of
those are fun. Now, guys, you're forgetting about the kids. What about the kids? They don't care about the cheerleaders. They want to go pull on the tail of Sir Purr.
They fall asleep at halftime anyway. So
yeah, keep them off the field. Have them wander around in the arena. I don't need them on the field doing whatever it is they're doing, or just take them to a minor league game.
Unbelievable. Maybe I'm the only mascot guy up here. Be sure to come back in a moment when I try to pull the biggest upset and beat Christian in some baseball Who Am I trivia. Believe me, you don't want to miss history, and we'll be right back.